Okay, so find the value of x. They're giving us information. Let's mark what they've given us. Side RS is congruent to side ST, so we know that we're dealing with an isosceles triangle. Maybe that'll help us. Okay. Measure of angle RST, this vertex angle. What is the measure of that? Measure of that is, measure of that is 7x minus 54. Now they tell us that the measure of angle STU, it's this angle here, is 8x. And we know this is a little bit of an interesting problem. We know that, well, this is a linear pair. This right here is a linear pair. So if we know that that's 8x, then we know this to be true, that this angle right here is going to be 180 degrees. Take away whatever's used up for that green angle, minus 8x. That's going to be, in algebraic terms, the measure of that. 180, take away what's already been used here. Okay? And what do you know? We also know that that's true too. That's, since this is an isosceles triangle, we know that those two base angles are congruent. Okay, so that also equals 180 minus 8x. How does that help us? Because what we can then do here, and actually I'm gonna get rid of that, and I'm gonna say, let's just write this in here like this to say that then also equals 180 minus 8x. And how do we know that? We know that because base angles of an isosceles triangle are congruent. Okay? So how does it help us? Well, now we know in algebraic terms what the measure of all of those three angles are. So we know that if we sum up this plus this plus this, we will be able to set them equal to 180 degrees because the triangle sums to 180. All the angles sum to 180. This was just used to come up with an algebraic expression for that angle right there. Okay? If that's 8x, then that's 180. The straight angle, take away whatever was there, whatever is left is what is that's going to be. So, how do we write this out? I'm going to put it in parentheses to show the three different parts that we've got. We've got parentheses, oops, that was weird. Okay. Parentheses, 180 minus 8x plus parentheses, the other base angle, 180 minus 8x, parentheses, plus 7x minus 54. That whole thing should equal 180. All three of those angles together should equal 180. Okay? And now we're going to combine like terms. So what are the like terms? The like terms are 180, 180, and negative 54. So I'm going to do that down here. I'm going to say 180 plus 180 is 360, and then subtract away that amount right there, minus 54. And we will get 306 as the constant value for this, 306. And that's going to be equal to 180. What do we also need to sum up on this left-hand side? We need to sum up all of the x's. So we've got negative 8x and negative 8x is negative 16x, negative 16x, and then we've got this positive 7x. So we've got negative 16x plus 7x, and if you're good with your integer values, you will know that that equals negative 9x. Okay, so we've got negative 9x plus 306 equals 180. Cool. We will subtract away 306 minus 306. Oops. minus 306. And we get negative 9x equals. Now we've got to do here 180 minus 306. There's this trick that says if you're taking away more than you've got, reverse the numbers and then make your answer negative. So I'm going to just do that down here as our little trick. Okay, I'll do it right here. 306 minus 180 will make the answer negative. This becomes a 2. Weird. That becomes a 2. That becomes a 10. 6 minus 0 is 6. That 10 right there minus 8 is 2. And 2 minus 1 is 1. 126. So we've got, remember, we've got to make it negative. So I'm going to get that junk out of there. Negative 126. Okay? And then we're going to say negative 9x divided by, what is the coefficient of that? The coefficient of it is negative 9, so we divide by negative 9. Divide by negative 9. And we get x equals, how many times? Well, negative divided by negative is positive, so I already know I'm going to get a positive number. And let's see, 126 up top. Actually, I'm going to make it in different colors so you can see it easy. 126 divided by 9. 9 goes into 12 once. That's 3. Bring down the 6. 9 goes into 36 4 times. 9 times 4 is 36, so we get 36. Leaves you with 0. So that's x equals 14. I'm going to get that out of there. That was just a calculation. X equals 14. And hey, that's what they were asking us to do. So we've proved it. Now, that maybe felt like a lot. So let's just do a quick review of it. You were told that these two sides were congruent, which then we will be able to conclude from that that those base angles are congruent as well. We're told what this angle, this vertex angle, measures as an algebraic expression, and we're also told that this exterior angle is 8x. By knowing that, we can then write an expression for what the interior angle here is. It's these two together must be 180, so this one is going to be 180, take away that amount, 180 minus that 8x. And since these are equal, that the two base angles will have that same algebraic expression describing them, 180 minus 8x, 180 minus 8x. And since that's true, we have an algebraic expression for all of them. 180 minus 8x, that's there, plus 180 minus 8x, that's there, plus 7x minus 54, that's there. All three angles should sum to 180. So that plus that should equal 180. Then all we're doing is combining like terms, and 180 and 180 is 360, that's there. And then that minus 54, hopefully you can see that it's 5. Right? Minus 54, so we got 180 and 180 is 360, minus 54 is 306. That's where that 306 comes from. And then this, negative 8 and negative 8x and negative 8x is negative 16x. Now I've got to add that 7x on. Negative 16x plus 7x gives us negative 9x. That's where we get that there. So we've got negative 9x plus the 306 equals your 180. And now we just subtract 306 from both sides, get negative 9x equals negative 126, divide by negative 9, get a positive number, and that divided by 9 is that. Whew. A lot of work, totally doable. Go slow, know you can do it. And this is where keeping a cool head and trusting yourself that you know all this math and you got it. Just go slow and sort it out and don't panic.